Texas Podcast Massacre contains spoilers and adult language. For more horror, visit us at our website at texaspodcastmassacre.com. This is Texas Podcast Massacre.
Welcome to another episode of Texas Podcast Massacre, coming to you from Houston, Texas. I'm your host, Mitch, and with me as always are my fellow con artists, Nate.
They should make heroin look like something else. Candy bars, maybe?
And Lisa.
I wish I could do important things, like cook a souffle, pick a necktie, or choose a wallpaper for the bedroom.
Well, write it in your freedom journal. Maybe one day you will. So once again, each week on Texas Podcast Massacre, we take a look at a different horror movie and debate a horror-related topic with our unsuspecting victims, who are usually people that we're not what we call horror fans. This week, Josh and Patricia are back to help us through Blind School as we review the 1967 film Wait Until Dark. Welcome back, Josh and Patricia.
Thank you. Good to be here.
Thanks. Nice.
Yeah.
Nice having us.
Yeah. So last time we had you both, it was Bram Stoker's Dracula, I believe.
Classic.
No.
Into the next classic.
Now, Nate was not here for that one.
He was in spirit.
He was.
Yes.
He was on assignment in Transylvania.
Yes.
Like couldn't call
I was
him.
there in man-bund spirit.
Yeah. So we're a totally different, I guess, direction from that movie to this one that we'll be talking about today. I guess since then, have you seen any other horror movies or any other things of note that have happened since the last time you were on the show?
I think we saw Happy Death Day.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Okay.
How'd y'all like that one?
Enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I ended up craving cupcakes for a long time after that, because I just saw that cupcake scene over and over and over again.
Yeah.
So, you know.
It's like, Josh, you want to test this cupcake for me real quick? And then I'll eat it, and then I'll eat it tomorrow, if everything's okay with you. So that's great.
We'll wait a little bit.
Yeah.
That's every day at our house. I don't know what you're talking about.
He is my official tester.
Well, that's well, good. Well, everyone has their role, I suppose. Well, thanks for coming down. We're going to go ahead and get started right into our debate question for the week.
We will see how the Lord favors you.
No, you dare not, you blaspheme! He will punish you! The jaws of hell will devour you! All of you! No!
Okay, so in this movie, Audrey Hepburn, who is the main protagonist, is blind.
Yep.
Can't see anything, and pretty much in the what I would call the prequel or the precursor to Home Alone.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this. If you were in the same situation, if you were being terrorized by some con artists or some quote-unquote bad men, what sense would you be okay with not having? Or do you think you would have better chance of survival if you didn't have that sense? But there are 5 senses. If I have to...
Smell? Is that the answer for everybody?
But what
Smell.
What if they cut the gas line, Nate? How would you know?
And I see little blurry, mirage looking things.
I don't think that's how it actually works. So you would go smell.
Yes.
Well, let's do this. There's a better way of doing this.
Yeah.
There's 5 of us.
Yeah.
So you pick smell. Pro and con of smell being the one you lose. We'll each take one.
Sure. So smell, you can still do everything. Con, apparently you can't smell gas. That's it. There's no other downsides. Right? Unless they smell, the person smells real bad and they're in the next room.
What if they're wearing Drakkar Noir? You're never going to know.
Yeah. Taken. You would never find your daughter in Taken without the Drakkar Noir.
Sure. I mean, I could just use the cell phone part, but other than that, I guess that kid would be gone forever. Oh, well.
Okay.
Yeah,
Oh,
smell.
well.
Oh, well.
Oh, well.
All right, Patricia, if you had to pick one now, not smell, what would you...
Taste, of course, taste. I mean, not once in that entire movie was she licking anybody.
Now,
tasting
taste and
anybody.
smell are very closely related.
That's true.
So I'm wondering.
Yeah, but if you lose your smell, do you then have issues with your taste?
Yeah.
Yeah, and vice versa.
So would that make it harder, you think? I mean, you're technically impaired. You've lost one and impaired another versus with taste, you smell just fine.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you can get the essence of taste without actually tasting.
That's true.
So pro, it's a totally useless sense when it comes to protecting yourself from a murderer. Second pro, you'd probably lose a lot of weight. Con, I don't think the rest of life would be worth living.
Right.
But you can't
But
taste the sweet
yeah.
victory of escape.
Oh my God.
That's true, but that's a metaphorical taste, not a.
God.
Also, what
There's
if,
no taste bud for victory.
also if someone laced like, I mean, you still have to eat, so if someone like laced your food with shit,
Yeah.
you wouldn't know.
Yeah.
So there was that.
You probably would have no interest in
Yeah,
eating it, though.
you would die in Happy Death Day because the cupcake,
Yeah.
even if it was super chalky, they don't even have to try. Like, you just die.
Yeah, you wouldn't have to really mask it that much. So
Yeah.
Maybe without taste, that you just don't care about eating things in general.
Yeah, you just Soylent Green.
Just,
So you just don't eat?
No big deal.
you just eat bullshit. I
You
guess.
just eat like gruel. Like,
Yeah.
you're just eating gruel like 90% of your meals.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Just a meal replacement smoothie and
Some vitamins.
some multivitamins.
Yeah,
maybe. Lisa, how about you?
Seriously, and that's what I have left. Everything else is critical. Go to Josh. Josh has an idea here.
Go, Josh.
I'm definitely going to go with touch. Pro, you won't be able to feel if you get stabbed.
Until you die from it.
Con, some of the tactile capabilities may be a little off. So
All of
maybe you
them.
won't know if
All of them.
if you're holding that knife exactly right, or
Yeah. Some is a subset of all. So I think it technically still works.
but you wouldn't freak out when someone wafts a piece of lace across your face.
Yeah. I have a whole rant about that later. Just heads up on that. But.
Okay.
Yeah, touch. Yeah, I mean, touch is. Even if you do die, it is not as bad.
Yeah.
Like, you're not like,
You're like, well,
you're just like,
just
I
like,
can't move anymore. Oh,
Oh,
I'm done.
I'm dead.
So you at least die peacefully.
Yeah.
All right, Lisa, what do you think? I'll take the whatever you don't pick.
I'm gonna go with hearing.
Okay.
So Hush.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Well, that's
you-
exactly
now
what
the
I was
movie
gonna
Hush.
reference. So Hush, which we haven't done, but we should because it's a great movie. She's deaf and someone breaks into the house.
Mm-hmm.
However, I feel like most of these folks, they need to plan. What was it? Plan for the worst. No, plan for the worst, expect the best. Or
Hope for
whatever
the
that's-
best.
Hope for-
Yeah,
Prepare
yeah,
for the
yeah.
worst, hope for
Yeah,
the best.
Yeah. Because she could have armed herself a lot better in that house than she did. Like mirrors everywhere. But instead she doesn't, hear him walk behind her and stuff. So I think I could deal with not being able to hear. I mean, it would still be freaky, and I'd always have my back against a wall so that I could see the
Like
whole
a mouse.
room.
Like a
Yeah,
mouse.
pretty much. But I think I could survive.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
But like in this movie, I mean, if you could see but not hear, I mean, this movie's done. Because the whole point is that she can't, like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
it's better than being blind,
Yeah.
right?
They
I
would
mean,
need
Most things are.
significantly more actors is what they would need.
huh?
They would need significantly more actors.
That's true.
Yeah, I would say Sighton for this reason.
It's the only one left. Go on. There's a lot of options.
Okay,
but,
so I'll go through each of
Mitch
y'all.
is like, you know what? I'll turn my ESP off.
Yeah.
Fine. So
first,
that's it.
no sense of smell. If there's a gas leak in the middle of the night, you're more likely to die without, knowing you're going to die. I mean, carbon monoxide poisoning is a real killer. Okay, Nate. So
Yeah.
it could happen anytime.
But you
can't.
can't-
But you can't protect
that's
yourself if
simple.
you're
You
asleep.
can't smell carbon monoxide, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
There you
we're
go.
equally at risk
Wait,
for
so
that.
that didn't make any sense.
Checkmate.
And done.
Yeah.
No, I still stand by what I said. For taste, again, you would welcome death. I feel like I don't know.
You're like,
how
I've
good it-
survived, but what's the point?
Well,
It becomes a psychological horror movie.
Yeah, well, this is like, and again, this is not. I didn't phrase the question as I was born with this. I've lost this sense. So yeah, you know what things tasted like before. Now you don't. Just kill me now. Why bother? You're welcoming death, so that's not
Yeah.
really gonna work for your self-preservation. Touch. I mean, really
Go on,
know
Mitch.
where
Yeah,
to go with that
where
one.
are you going with this? Piano keys. That's what you're talking about.
It would just, yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
you would just never be able to play piano again, I guess. Yeah, I don't know. What is? I mean, if you can't feel anything, you're sensitive. I mean, yeah.
Yeah,
How would you? How would you know without having to look at the controller to turn the channel? You'd
have to taste a lot of things.
Playing video
still
games.
Have your taste buds.
Playing video games would be terrible. I mean,
Yeah.
again, kill me now, right?
Wait, if you're blind, hold on. How are those games happening?
No, I'm talking about I was touched.
Yeah, sure. But if you're blind.
Well, okay, but hold on.
I feel like you're going to say "Don't kill me now" when you're blind, and just don't know.
Blind would be fine because clearly, if blind told us anything,
blind would be fine
in this kind of because look, even bad people can be blind and still like wreak havoc. Look at Don't Breathe.
Yeah,
I mean,
you just have to really know your surroundings well.
Yeah. It's a little more planning up front.
You have to know where the turkey basters are ahead of time,
and you can still listen to music, which would be a big plus for me. You know,
sure.
Yeah, basically know where your turkey basters are.
Yeah.
It's a good movie. If you haven't seen it, it won't make sense.
It's basically
if you haven't seen it.
It's basically this movie,
good.
but the
it's flipped.
Yeah, it's flipped. Well, not the blind people are breaking into a house, but that
the terrorization.
The person who is in the house is still blind.
Yes.
Although the terrorization then flips.
But instead of the people that are coming in being the tormentors, they're getting tormented.
Revenge.
Yeah. So we'll just say I won.
No, what? Mitch, if you think that's what everyone saw, you are blind to that because terrible.
I do want to say I feel like the two blind people get a lot of shit in this movie. We'll get into it more, but Gloria and Audrey Hepburn, her character in the movie, Suzy, yeah, everyone's giving them a lot of shit. I mean.
Wait, Gloria's not blind, right?
Gloria's not blind, but she has glasses, and everyone's like, fucking alien monster.
Alien monster.
Yeah, it would have been better for her, apparently, if she were blind. Maybe they wouldn't have picked on her as much at blind school as they do in regular school.
Yeah, but then she'd only be runner-up for the world's champion blind person. So, why would you
there can only be one.
Why do you just want to be second place? It doesn't make any sense.
Fair point. All right, well, with that... debate question out of the way. All
right, so I got a thing before.
You want to go ahead? Yeah, let's do it.
All right, let's do a Kevin Bacon on this. Anyone have any ideas? This movie, Kevin Bacon.
Yeah, so you may want to elaborate what Kevin. You just saying Kevin Bacon.
7 degrees or less degrees of Kevin Bacon. Actors in this movie. There are, as I'll go through later, there are a lot of amazingly good actors in this movie. Super famous ones. Can anyone hook them to Kevin Bacon?
Did Alan Arkin ever do anything with Kevin Bacon?
Not directly, but you do the degrees, right?
Lord.
So you can do numerous ones.
He was in Little Miss Sunshine. Someone else was.
Wait, Alan Arkin was, or
yeah,
he was a grandpa.
Yeah.
No one knows.
Okay, so he's in Little Miss Sunshine with Paul Dano.
Which one's Paul Dano?
Paul Dano.
He's the one with like the bowl haircut, dude.
Is he part of the family or not?
Yeah, part of the family. Yeah, he's the teenage
son?
kid.
Okay.
Yeah.
The colorblind kid.
He was in.
But I like how he described him as the bowl cut guy.
Yeah, Steve Carell didn't have a bowl cut in that movie.
Well, just say he's the son.
He's the son. He was in There Will Be Blood with Daniel Day-Lewis.
He was?
Yeah, he's a preacher guy and his own brother. He played himself and he played two brothers.
Oh, nice.
Daniel Day-Lewis.
Alan Arkin was, or
no? Paul Dano.
Paul Dano was, okay.
Daniel Day-Lewis was in Lincoln with Sally Field.
Mm-hmm.
Sally Field was in Forrest Gump with Tom Hanks. Tom Hanks was in Apollo 13 with Kevin Bacon. Yes.
I was hoping it would be Tremors.
Oh, yeah. I couldn't get like a Reba McEntire. I'm like, what else is Reba McEntire in? That's impossible.
Well, we didn't do very well in that one.
Thanks, guys. All right. And that is the last time this segment will ever happen.
Was that less than 7?
Yeah. It was like 5.
Oh, okay. Good job.
All right. Well, with that said, we're going to move into our review of this week's movie of the week, Wait Until Dark.
You went right down the list and told me that the doll linked Sam and Mrs. Rote. And now Mrs. Rote's dead. Murdered right next door.
But maybe I was wrong.
That doesn't matter. If you thought that way, the police will think that way. Well,
is that like when they showed this? Was it just black? Because that would have been great. If it had just been audio.
Ooh, that'd have been fantastic.
Yeah, so I did see something where they were trying to get people to get this movie, and so they mentioned in the last few parts of the movie they were going to have people stand in the back, and it was going to be dark. Yeah,
I got you on that.
All right, so Nate, go. I can understand. What do you got for that?
Sure, yeah. So Wait Until Dark, the 1967 classic, is 108 minutes, but it seems like it flies by. 7.9 on IMDb. Is it the highest one we've ever done, or one of the highest?
It's one of. I don't think it's the highest.
Very high. On a Rotten, it's a 95%. So it's fantastic. One of the taglines is the blinds moving up and down, the squeaking shoes, and then the knife whistling past her ear. Okay. That's a great tagline.
Is it?
Too long for you?
Did a knife ever whistle past her ear? In the film?
Yeah. When he throws
when she's trying to pull down the.
Yes, yeah. You're right.
So this movie was a huge hit. So the budget was $3 million, and the box office was $17.5 million.
Wow.
In 1967. So
I was about to say we don't have what that would be with inflation, huh?
$8 billion. $1 billion. I don't know, but no, it was
pretty good.
It was very good for the time.
So still better than Downsized.
Wow. Talk about punching downward. So the director was Terence Young, who I know very well from 3 of the first 4 Bond movies, Dr. No, From Russia with Love, and Thunderball. And he directed the classic 1974 film The Klansman, which I did not know existed, which featured O.J. Simpson. So if you guys are interested in seeing that movie, you can. Terence Young was from England, and he took part in World War II, and he fought in the Battle of Arnhem, which is in Eastern Netherlands, near where my wife's family is from. And when he was injured there, he was taken care of by 16-year-old Audrey Hepburn, who was volunteering as a nurse.
That's
there.
right.
So then the person who was a volunteer nurse nursing him to health was then later directed by this person in a movie.
That's cool.
Which is freaking crazy. So that's awesome. So the main actress, obviously, is Audrey Hepburn. She was nominated for an Oscar for Best Actress in this movie. And then she had won an Oscar for Best Actress, and 4 of the movies that she was in won Oscars for Best Picture. So super famous. All right, what are the list of movies that she's been in that you guys know?
Well, it's Breakfast at Tiffany's.
Breakfast at Tiffany's. One of the most racist movies ever. What else? What else do you guys know?
The Rome one. Where are they in Rome?
Guys, no? Roman Holiday?
Roman Holiday. That's what I was thinking.
Any other ones you guys
She was
know?
also in Sabrina.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, you got coming. Funny Face.
Funny Face.
And then, of course, My Fair Lady is the instant classic. Yeah, super famous. She is one of the few EGOT winners of all time.
Wow.
If everyone knows they're 30 Rock.
Yep.
The Emmy, Grammy, Oscar, Tony winner.
What'd she win the Grammy for?
Was it My Fair Lady or?
That's a great question. Yeah, it could have been for the My Fair
that would have
Lady.
been Tony.
No, My Fair Lady soundtrack.
Maybe.
No,
yeah.
that could have been it. I didn't check on that. Ooh, all right, that's good.
Because that's always the one that's surprised. Like when the actors get it, that's always the one I'm like, all right.
Yeah, it's like, you did like a spoken word, whatever
right.
garbage.
It was a best spoken word.
There you go.
Yeah, 1994 spoken word album.
About what? I'll look it up later. I'm just curious.
It's spoken word album for children.
Oh,
okay. Well, so she was, and that ties in perfectly. She was later in her life. So she took a break from acting for like almost 10 years to take care of her kids after this movie. And then later in life, she became a UNICEF ambassador. So there you go with the kids. Perfect. The other main actor in this movie is Alan Arkin, who won an Oscar for his role in Little Miss Sunshine. He has been in tons of movies. He's one of only 6 people to ever be given an Oscar nomination for their first ever film acting role.
What was it?
It was The Russians Are Coming in 1966. It was his first time ever being in a major movie, and he got nominated for an Oscar.
Nice.
He's been in Argo, Gattaca, Grosse Point Blank, surprisingly, the Jerky Boys movie. Edward Scissorhands. Yep, I figured Mitch would like that. Edward Scissorhands, Catch-22. And Audrey Hepburn was, like I said, nominated for an Oscar in this movie. And Al Arkin, who acted fantastically, was not. And he said, you don't get nominated for an Oscar for being mean to Audrey Hepburn. So there you go. That's a good quote. This movie's crazy because the main actress, the main top billed person by far, doesn't come into the movie until like over 20 minutes have gone by, which is pretty crazy. And I guess here, Mitch, I can read the thing. So this movie did really well. And the way that it did was they did some print ads and cautionary trailers that said, during the last 8 minutes of this picture, the theater will be darkened to the legal limit to heighten the terror of the breathtaking climax, which takes place in nearly total darkness on the screen. If there are sections where smoking is permitted, those patrons are respectfully requested not to jar the effect by lighting up during the sequence. And of course, no one will be seated at this time.
Wow.
And back in the day, apparently that worked because then it went on to do amazingly.
When do you want to get to the movie? With about 8 minutes left.
Yeah, right.
Like, this is a real good time for a cigarette. Like right at the end. Who knows? And then the last thing, this movie was based on the multi-Tony winning play, Wait Until Dark, which featured Lee Remick, who was the main actress in The Omen, as the star role of Suzy Hendrix.
Nice.
So yeah, awesome movie.
Yeah, and I think I saw too because I was looking up something else with it. I think they redid the play, and like Quentin Tarantino was in it as well as Marissa Tomei.
He was in it?
Yeah.
Was he wrote?
I assume he's wrote, right?
It's the only plausible.
Is there video evidence of this?
I think so. I mean, Marissa Tomei would have been Audrey Hepburn's character.
Oh, I know, but did they tape it? Because that would be fantastic.
Maybe. I don't know. I'll have to look.
Wow, okay. That's awesome.
All right. So this movie was actually introduced into our schedule from Patricia. So Patricia, you'd seen this movie before.
Yes. My mom had me watch it when I was, 11 or 12, and it just haunted my nightmares for decades after that. To this day, I cannot have anything, any like garment bag or anything hanging over my closet door from that scene because I'm like terrified that somehow someone's going to break in and put a body in it.
Oh,
like I know it's not rational.
No,
but we fear what we fear.
That's okay. Someone else I know saw a terribly scary movie at 9 or 10 and still freaks him out. So
no, it was younger than that, but yeah,
younger than that.
Yeah, it was before 9 or 10. Yeah. Yeah. So wait, so had she seen the movie when she watched it with you, or
yes?
Okay.
Yeah.
She just thought this would be a great one for you to.
Just mother-daughter bonding time.
And that's why you don't meet people after you've had a horrible accident that makes you blind.
Exactly. including her husband.
If you go blind,
kind of a jerk.
You can't find love. Is that what you're saying, Mitch?
That's basically what I'm trying to say.
Okay.
All right, so let's start off first with what I thought was the most interesting part of the movie. 1967, A Simpler Time. When we start this movie off, we are seeing Lisa, not you, Lisa, a different Lisa, obviously.
You're much dumber, Lisa.
Yeah. We always find it funny how the
our Lisa
Lisa
deals slightly less drugs.
Yeah, slightly less.
Oh yeah, slightly.
So I mean, she's smuggling heroin in what is the most disturbing looking doll I've seen. That has not purposely been trying to be disturbing looking.
Real subtle.
Yeah.
It's very subtle.
This is like Annabelle creation.
Yeah.
Like the third prequel.
First off, I didn't know Canada had a booming hustle and bustle drug economy.
Air Canada, son.
Air Canada. TSA regulations, lax.
Slightly more lax.
Slightly. Let me look at bag.
Puts his hand through a bag. That's a doll. Sure. Go through. Like that was instantaneous.
All she had to tell him was it was her comfort doll.
Right. Yeah, I have my paperwork here.
It makes you know, like Blow, right? Like in Blow, where they're like, oh, she's a stewardess. They don't check her back. She can carry 50 pounds of cocaine in there or whatever, right? It's like, yeah, when I see this makes sense. Like, this totally makes sense.
It was a real subtle outfit, too, right? She's going to sneak significant amounts of heroin across national borders. So she puts on, like, this fabulous fur coat.
Oh, yeah.
Red tights.
PETA
bump
not
it
approving
in her
of
blonde
this.
hair.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
and then just carries the doll. Like, she has an empty bag, but instead of putting the doll in, she just freehands the doll, just carries it with her.
Yeah.
Visibly.
And
no
Josh,
reason.
It's like a football. She's just like carrying it literally like a football.
Oh, yeah.
on her arm. Like that's it. Yeah.
So that she could hand it off to some random stranger.
Yeah,
I feel like there
metaphors
are
all over this movie.
countless more, I don't know, unobtrusive ways to sneak that heroin in. Like, if you're gonna fill it in a doll, get a child to bring it across, not a grown woman, right? Put that into a makeup bag. Sew that into her fabulous fur coat.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, and then her friend she's getting the heroin from also rats her out, I guess. I'm not quite sure why he's making the call. Doesn't really ever tie that back to anything that I was able to put together.
I think it was like a status update. Like, okay, the package is on the move or something like that.
Did the TSA see this movie and go, God, now we need drug dogs? Is that
Probably.
is that what triggered it?
That movement.
Maybe.
They're like, this is not good for us guys.
We never thought of that.
That was actually just live footage of Audrey Hepburn going, or that actress just going through the airport.
Right?
It's not even
It was
seen.
on Dateline then. I see what you can get away with.
Yeah.
I don't know. That was probably the only thing with this movie that I thought was like, it kind of took me out of it just a little bit. I'm like, I don't know how much of this would have, like, this movie ends at the airport. Like,
I mean, 1967, man.
It was in Canada. They were too polite to say, "Oh, is there drugs in that doll?" That is like,
can we look at that doll? No.
In our
Okay.
I get it. Yep.
In our
sorry.
lifetime, you were able to walk right up to the gate. So, I mean, it's...
Not carrying a weird doll.
Well, no. But still, I feel
The
like...
doll's head was way too small for the body.
It was way too small
Like,
for that body.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the body was way too long for anything, really.
Except heroin.
Not drugs.
It was just long enough for some heroin.
Yeah.
Which, yeah, maybe they should have tried to make it look like candy bars. That would have been...
Yeah. Nailed it.
Yeah.
Girl Scout cookies.
No, or Girl Scout cookies.
Oh, that'd have been a racket.
I'm not... Look, we've all had Girl Scout cookies. I'm not entirely sure that
There's
there are
not
not
drugs in there.
them.
That's true.
I
Yeah.
mean... No one likes mint normally, but everyone loves mint thins. Come on.
Drugs have crazy names now, like crocodile and all this, like bath salts, all this kind of crap. You know, Thin Mints is like literally the name of a drug.
Yeah,
right? That has to be a name.
And they have a bunch of people pushing it on the streets all the time. Yeah. Come on, drug trade. Yeah. So let's talk about the characters. So we have the Hendrixes, Mr. and Mrs., played by Audrey Hepburn and some other dude.
Yeah. Sam.
Yeah, Sam, who is a photographer. How they met. We find out they met because she had gone blind in a car accident.
Yes.
And then they'd only been together for a year, I guess, at this point in the movie.
Yeah, she was...
Like, he found her by...
There was a fire with the car accident she was in, so I guess the smoke or something...
got in her eyes.
Yeah.
So I was wondering about that. What took her eyes but did not in any way else
I'm guessing it was
her beautiful face.
The smoke, but...
Or her beautiful eyes.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, I believe it's in her contract to be called gorgeous once or twice a movie.
Yeah, I think I got it. I look so terrible. Clearly, I don't. Oh, thank you. I appreciate it.
No, you are beautiful.
Yeah. What did y'all think about the Hendrixes in general?
I mean, this. I just want to hear people's specific reactions to this husband.
So, I get that you want an equitable division of household labor, but something about assigning light duty to the blind woman just feels uniquely cruel and inefficient. So in that respect, I don't respect his intelligence, his problem-solving skills, or his husbandly affection.
It's like tough/lazy love, like at all times.
Yeah, he's
like
not
it's never tender ever. It's like either tough love or I'm lazy. Either
There's
way.
a guy who bought like a Bear Bryant coaching fundamentals book and it's like, oh, this makes sense, and is applying it in the wrong scenarios.
Yes, agreed.
Josh, is this how you would motivate your team at work? Would you just say, yeah, you got it?
This is how I motivate everyone in my life.
Oh, so you're like,
I don't know.
You and Sam were like, yeah, great.
Josh is friends with 16 blind people.
And every one of them, he's like, God, it's so dark in here. Could you turn the lights on for me?
You can do it. You can do it.
Every one of them is blind person running up for a blind person of the world, right?
Go roll up the window.
Look, I understand that the fridge has a defrost mode, but you got to unplug it. You just got to unplug it.
Did he tell her that because she couldn't see the defrost mode?
I think it's safe to assume that.
Yeah.
Who knows? This guy was a dick. I just want you to be busy during the day.
I mean, we'll get to the ending in a little bit later, but that scene where he gets to her and it's like, oh, she's alive. Come here. You're not the blind one. Get your ass over to
That's what I'm saying. He's never tender, even
When she
after surviving a huge ordeal.
He probably-
I cannot be a good person. It's impossible.
When she calls
for me.
him and he's like, I'm at the studio waiting for this girl, but she's late. She said, oh, can I come sit with you? No, you cannot come sit with me.
No.
It's like, oh my gosh, man. He was a jerk.
No.
Yeah.
No, not the greatest. Now we also have, let's talk about their, I guess their sort of help. The girl that lives upstairs, Gloria.
Sort of how.
It's a hard to find.
Well,
good
when you
help.
first meet Gloria,
They're
she
frenemies.
walks,
They're frenemies.
she walks in, sees Suzy talking to one of the con men we'll talk about in a second, and then just leaves. Just fuck
Nope.
this. Yeah, nope.
Yeah.
And then later starts throwing shit around the house.
But only things that were unbreakable
She learned from her
on
dad.
purpose.
I learned it from watching you.
Yeah. It's just like,
Yeah, I mean, throwing knives is not dangerous at all.
Broken.
they don't break, Lisa, so it's fine.
broken home or total neglect because clearly no one lives in this building. There's a girl, a blind woman, and no one else is ever around.
And the blind woman can just send the girl to the Port Authority.
Yeah, right? Stay there all night if you have to.
simpler time.
If you told me to go to the Port Authority, I do not know that I could help you.
She knew where it was, too.
Yeah,
She's like,
It's
"Got
near
it."
42nd Street, Mitch. Come on.
Oh, okay.
Pretty obvious. What part of 42nd Street? Who cares?
The taxi knows where it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, this girl too didn't do. So Gloria starts off being just the fucking worst.
Yeah.
And then she's moderately okay, but she does do dumb stuff. Like if she knocks on the pipe to
Water
say, "Hey,
pipe,
I need
yeah.
help," she doesn't call the police on her way out.
No.
Like she never kind of puts two together. Like, oh, she's in some weird shit's going down. I'll let her handle it. I'll just go do exactly what I'm asked and nothing more.
How old is this girl? What do we get the age on this?
9, 10.
10? Right?
I would have put like
I put
14.
12.
14?
Oh, man.
No.
Getting your
way.
first pair of glasses at 14? No, my friend.
No, I don't think. 14?
Well, I was 10 when I got mine, which
Oh, busted. It was 10.
it might have been 10. I
was
mean,
10.
I was 9.
yeah. So I mean, it might have been 10. It might have been.
Yeah.
I was giving her some credit at 14, but yeah, maybe
Yeah.
10.
So 14, terrible. 10, solid. I think that's probably the right.
I don't know. I'd say solid.
Okay, passable.
I feel like our 10-year-old nephew could have done a much better job than this girl did.
Yeah.
Well, if we're judging her competence,
he may not have been wearing pants the whole time, but he at least would have.
He would have gotten things
it done.
to be fair, neither was she.
Not fair.
Nice.
So yeah, there you go. All right, and then we have the three conmen. So there's two of them, Mike Tallman and Carlino,
Yep.
who apparently was a sergeant but doesn't like to be reminded
Carlino's
of
way.
that.
Yeah.
Carlino's way.
The corrupt cop.
And then there's Rote, who's played by Alan Arkin.
Played fantastically, I might say.
Who, with terrible bowl haircut.
Yeah, he really committed to the part with that haircut.
Yes, and his numerous costumes/wigs that he had that no one else felt like they needed to do for
Blind
this
Lady.
whole thing. What were y'all's thoughts about the villains, I guess, in this movie?
I was wondering how much those drugs were because when he offered those guys $4,000, I'm like, you were either going to just kill them at the end when you got the doll, or those drugs are worth a hell of a lot of money. That was a big price tag just to find the dang doll,
Yeah, I mean, it's got to be.
especially in '67.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's-
I mean, for two people who claim to be experienced con men of sorts, at least, I mean, they were just spectacularly careless with their fingerprints. And I know that was a whole plot point, but I mean, it was aggressively bad with the fingerprints, right? Just going straight over to the fridge and
So
going to town.
Also, I love that
they didn't know they were in someone's house.
that's
I
true.
love that
That's
the thing
true.
that tips him off is not
about
all
that.
of the crap that's not Lisa's, but since when does Lisa know how to type? Uh-oh, let's go.
True. It wasn't
Yeah.
the wedding photo of other people.
No.
So I guess my question is, I guess I didn't quite figure out what the relationship between Rote and these two guys are. Other than, I mean, Rote was getting the drugs at some point, but seemed like they were two separate.
They knew
Parties.
Lisa. They knew Lisa.
Well, the two did.
They used to run scams with her. I mean,
Okay.
they didn't quite.
They were the two that were. They were the two that were in jail.
In the story, yeah.
And in theory, they never know Lisa's dead from Rote, and they help out thinking they're helping Lisa. And then he gets the drugs.
So that's the strategy. So how did Rote get pulled in? Is that who they got the first drug dude called?
Yeah, he's
I think he's like her crime pimp, kind of.
Yeah,
gotcha.
And basically, this is like just for him. This is just a really, really long, elaborate setup for like his own "Whose Line Is It Anyway" episode, because basically he gets like, "All right, you're this guy, change costumes, and you're this character now, go," and he just ad libs everything. Like it was basically a vehicle for him to do that.
I did love the elaborateness that they went to.
Exactly, that's what
when
I'm
they were
saying,
in there
yeah.
talking to each other. But detective, can't you just file a warrant for his arrest? No, sir. Like they really just went. Oh, you didn't learn that in cop school.
And he had
It's called the Constitution.
He had such great costumes, but then he didn't change shoes, which was like his
that's
like a rookie mistake. Like he changed wigs and he changed fake glasses.
Yeah.
But he did not change shoes.
Yeah, particularly for a woman who wasn't going to see.
Yeah,
I think it was for the bystanders in case there was.
I mean, I get that, but he didn't know about anybody.
They underestimated the blonde woman. I mean, it's a classic pitfall. In cinema to underestimate the blonde woman.
They just said be aware of the little girl, so I guess maybe they thought they were going to tip her off.
At least Mike. I mean, I liked Mike out of all the criminals. I think he liked her and he didn't want to hurt her.
Yeah,
and he tried to just kill Rote and then leave her alone. So that he seemed like he was the nicest. He was the nicest of the three by far.
Yeah,
but I guess he just came back in to see if he could get the doll. Like on his way out.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still a crappy person. I mean, I'm still going to try, but if I, whatever.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know, this thing's worth, $8,000 now. It's got to be something good in there.
Yeah.
But now he has to actually sell it. It's the difference when you're just delivering it, right? What did y'all think about the overall con? Because some of this movie centers around them conning Suzy into finding this doll. They have this elaborate plan of this woman that's gone missing, who is Lisa, and that now it looks like her husband's sort of implicated and potentially her missing. I mean, what did y'all think about the overall execution of it?
I thought it was kind of awesome. I think everyone was like a lot smarter than most people in these types of movies.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it seemed pretty. Everyone was pretty intelligent. There was a couple.
Did they make an assumption that Suzy and Sam had figured out what was in the doll, and that's why they wouldn't hand it over? Because they asked for it a ton, right? And it's like, why would these people have any reason to lie unless they knew there was drugs in the doll?
I guess when you're a liar, you assume everyone else is a liar,
I guess
too.
so, yeah.
I think any plan that starts with you having to convince people, like your other cohorts, that the people you're trying to con are strange because they lose dolls is
they had it coming. Yeah. They can't even handle dolls. It's that's ridiculous.
Maybe storing the body in a zip-up container over the closet door at the very beginning, and then just locking the closet door was also who has locks on their closet?
I don't know.
Like someone pointed it out. They don't even deadbolt their front door, but they have a lock on their closet.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, that's weird because they didn't even though they had the lock, they didn't use it for most of the movie.
No,
people just walked in like nothing.
I liked when the character was dead. It was almost Monkey Shines-esque, Mitch, with the face, or Black Christmas-esque with the face covered in the plastic.
Yeah, but
then I just yelled out to myself. I just go, "Oh, hi, Lisa." And then
so many of these movies or lines, particularly from Alan Arkin, could have been delivered by Tommy Wiseau, and I think I kind of want to see that. Movie.
The reason I bring that up is because this is like The Room in that everyone's just walking in all doors at all times in this building, and it doesn't matter. Locks, police, no one cares.
And they're very quiet doors.
Yeah,
like very quiet.
Yeah, I mean, 3 grown men are sneaking in like to a door, and she cannot hear it. I mean, like.
She can sense their presence, but she can't hear them walking in an old wooden decrepit door and walking down the stairs.
Let's talk about the power of the blind here, because at times she has superhero like perception and observational skills. Yeah, she can hear them dusting. But what was it that you pointed out when you were watching? When the doll's music starts playing, where is it? Hand me the doll. She can't hear the music, but she can hear someone dusting.
And the doll's at her feet.
Yeah, right. So
The adrenaline, and it gives her a heightened blind power, as you would say, apparently.
She wasn't the best blind person yet. Okay, she's working.
Yeah, she's
towards
still
that.
learning. She's going to blind school every day.
Is blind
Mitch.
school fucking the X-Men thing, like Xavier School for the gifted?
Exactly.
But look,
And
she
at
was
the
the
end
top student.
And at the end of every year, they crown a world's champion blind person. Okay, and she's gunning for that number one spot. Okay, so give her some slack.
Where's the sequel where all of these people every year who are, champions get together to do something good?
Yeah.
Well, I like how in this storyline, her husband's like the stage mom at blind school, like pushing her.
You're gonna do your.
You
best.
don't get to eat unless you get top marks at the blind school.
You're gonna just have to figure it out.
Yeah.
I'm kind of surprised they had any food left after that one guy came through and had the smorgasbord.
Yeah, he was really
That's a
just.
hell of a meat plate. The meat is just all just laid out. Just make it happen.
Our fridge doesn't have that much food in it.
Yeah, no one's does. That was absurd.
Yeah, being blind gives you a really big appetite for an 85-pound woman.
What I love with the refrigerator is that they work so hard to make sure you couldn't see a single brand label.
Yeah, that was awesome.
In there. But they did want to make sure to put some product placement for Hamilton Schmelken's disposable gloves. Definitely wanted to make sure that got the product placement. Yeah. So.
That's the powerful
for
glove
all your
lobby.
crime needs.
Yeah, it was like a 5-minute infomercial on the importance of disposable gloves and how useful they are.
See these clowns? They didn't have the gloves. Now they're in this mess. If they had the gloves, boom, they could have left.
Done.
Buy them in bulk. Never need to get them again.
Yeah.
Meet all your crime needs.
And then look at all the applications. I mean, you can dust with them. You can wipe down fingerprints.
Yeah.
You can do everything. I mean,
attack blind women. I mean,
Yeah.
you can literally do it all. Yeah.
Probably didn't even need that silk handkerchief. He could have just dragged a
No,
glove
that
across
was
her face.
100% needed. We'll get into that, but 100% needed.
Oh man. No, I've been looking at houses as well lately.
Mm-hmm.
The layout of this apartment leaves something to be desired.
Sure.
With the washing machine right next to the stove.
That's European style, man. I saw that last year in Europe. I saw it like 3 times.
Is that European?
Yeah, it is. Seriously, yeah.
But you think for a blind person, you could move it away from the open flame, right?
Oh, man.
I mean, she's literally just putting both her hands on the stove.
What if she puts both her hands on the stove and
to.
burns them, and the husband goes, "I don't give a shit." She literally asked that question. That's
he's probably just gonna be like, "You can do it. You can take care
you
of
can
it.
you can do it. I believe in you."
Put it under the sink."
He's probably going to start lighting the burners before she does laundry just to teach her a lesson.
Probably.
Also, put out your cigarette before you leave.
I know that was pretty dick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
He literally set a fire and left.
But no, I
Just
agree with
blind
you.
wife.
The floor plan for a blind person is not like stairs going into the kitchen. I get the stairs leaving and coming, but I don't know. And I feel like, I don't know if she hadn't lived there long enough to memorize the floor plan and know where stuff was.
I mean, she's only been there for at most a year, maybe, if she moved in after she married this guy.
Yeah.
Well, did you notice that they also put all the breakables on the highest shelves? Like all of the little glass figurines and the pictures and stuff. Those aren't on the bottom shelves where there's more structural, I don't know.
where they won't fall down and crush you. Yeah.
Nah.
They're up at top where one false step can just bring everything tumbling down.
Everything in this apartment is a test for her. That's
Right.
Everything is a test.
I mean,
It's like an obstacle course. Her life is an obstacle course.
I take it back. I think the husband's doing a great job in helping motivate her become the best blind person ever.
Wait until Dark 2 is she's a CIA operative. She's going undercover, assassinating people.
Jesus Christ,
She
it's
runs
Jason
around.
Bourne.
But
Runs
she'll
around
find
with her
you.
cane waving it everywhere.
Exactly.
The cane wave.
Exactly.
The cane wave smashing the lights was great.
She's
That was
good. She's good
so
at stabbing
fantastic.
people.
Yeah.
She's good with the cane. I mean, there's a lot of good.
Like I said,
options
it's a less planned out Home Alone, right?
Well,
Yeah.
I was hoping that because she kept smashing the light bulbs, I was hoping someone was going to step on that glass.
Yeah.
Especially after he takes his shoes off. I was like,
See, I was
that's
gonna
going to
say-
get it.
Yeah.
Or she was able to turn the stove on while they were right there, so their hands burned.
So I was going to say
the
this is
rest
more
of
like
the
Mission Impossible because they used the glass move in Mission Impossible 1 with Tom Cruise, but also there's the face changing, the face swapping happening, not unlike Mission Impossible as well. So
I think Home Alone came first.
I feel like that's what they
You think
So
Home
many
Alone
movies.
came first?
Before
Right.
Mission Impossible?
They must have
Mission
been
Impossible
talking
from
to
the
the van about
1960s,
this.
the TV show.
Like,
Oh,
we're
you're
gonna
talking
get
about that.
some
Yeah.
Wait, what, Josh?
I think they must have been in the van talking about this. Okay, how are we going to infiltrate this place? We'll get some rope, and we'll have someone lower you down from the second floor.
Yeah. You know, had she not been in the basement, maybe it would have been fine.
Oh, Basement, saving lives, Mitch.
No, not really,
Yeah,
though.
Basement saved her
Because
life.
a number of people died in this. And by number, I mean 2.
Yeah, but if
But
it
that
wasn't,
is-
if it wasn't in the basement, it
quote-unquote
would have been
number.
much worse.
3 if you count the lady.
Well, I did. Like, well, Lisa, and
No,
then...
4
Oh, well, yeah,
We
no,
have
I know.
4.
Well,
All right.
who's 4? So
All
it's
3 bad
Lisa...
guys.
No. One bad guy got run down outside. He was
Oh,
outside
you mean
the
in the
apartment.
apartment.
Yeah,
Okay.
inside the apartment. Only
I thought you
3.
just meant in the
Yeah, in the
grand
movie.
scheme.
Yeah.
Well, we don't really know where Lisa died.
He
True.
implied it was in the
Well,
apartment.
I mean, I would assume he died there and then they put her... Although, where's the blood? Yeah, I don't know.
He zipped her up in that bag and then killed her. She's
Oof.
very gullible.
No. Hey, get in the bag.
You won't
you know?
suffocate.
bag, it'll be
You won't
fine.
suffocate.
Like-
I'm smart enough to be my own entrepreneurial dad. All right, got it.
All right, so let's jump into the ending. So they've been doing this cat and mouse game with her. She is able to deduce that they are not who they say they are. They're not detectives. They're not, jilted lovers looking for their missing wife. They're just trying to find the doll. She doesn't know who they are, but just that they're trying to find this doll for not what they say.
Gloria comes through with that signal. Ring twice and hang up.
Yeah. We see Rote run down one of his cohorts with the car, and he then stabs Mike right in the back.
Yeah.
Who dies instantly.
With Geraldine.
Yeah, with Geraldine. And I noticed, too, Mike never changed his name throughout this whole thing. He's always been Mike Talme when he talks to... So, probably could have traced him back had he just walked
Yeah.
away.
Not very creative.
Yeah, probably need to change your name a little bit. Mac Talme,
Yeah, Mike.
Mark.
He did something.
Instead of
yeah.
Mike, it's Mark. It's not, it's just a
Yeah.
little tweak here and there. And then we have the back and forth fight scene with Audrey Hepburn and with Rote.
And this is spectacular.
Yeah, so
Cat and mouse.
it goes. I like that it went a little back and forth. Right, first he's got her trapped, then she starts using the gasoline and the match. Kind of goes back and forth. It wasn't totally one sided the whole way, particularly because there's not a whole lot of room for them to run. What were y'all thoughts on kind of the ending sequence?
Light him up and go out a window.
Come on a window.
Yeah, there were windows in the bedroom. Remember, she had that guy check to see if they were broken because she thought kids were playing in the backyard. Well, that was her excuse. But if you can't get out always know more than one escape route. If you can't get out the front door and there's a fire, you got to pick somewhere else. Light that sucker up and go out the back.
That's
She's
true.
in the
That was
basement.
that was a fundamental failure of her husband and her. If he cares about her being, self-sufficient for blind lady, they should have identified an escape route.
Yeah.
No.
Especially if he's going to be setting fires.
The husband says, you know what? She should identify all the escape routes.
Yeah. She needs
But
to be
she
the one.
knew.
She needs to, until she can.
Can
That's
you
on her.
visually
She knew,
describe to
though.
me where the escape routes are, please?
Yeah.
She told him there's a window in the bedroom, there's a window in the restroom. She knew where they were.
And there were 2 in the kitchen because we saw
Yeah.
him watching her
Yeah.
through them creepily.
She knew where to open them to get light. So, I mean, that was, yeah.
Although where she was standing when she was throwing the gas, there's gas near her too. So it's like,
Oh, you got to be quick. I'm not saying you do that. You just got to throw it and run.
Have you ever
And then stop,
lit
drop, and
gasoline
roll.
on fire? It's like that.
I know it's instant, but
Yeah.
he's not going to make it out. You still maybe have a small chance.
tell my 18-year-old self who lost an eyebrow for a while how fast gasoline lights up. It's quick. That's
So here's the thing I'd like to talk about for the end sequence. Did anyone know that she did notice that she did a wardrobe change from sensible pants and walking shoes and a nice turtleneck
that
into a
skirt?
skirt and flats?
so. This movie featured no credits for costumes because she did her own costumes.
really?
Yes, she's like, you know what my character needs right now? A skirt. More agile, I'm not getting held down by pants or anything. I don't. Yeah.
And it was all for the same day. There was no reason for her to change. I thought maybe she took a bath, but even then, why would you change into a skirt?
Yeah.
Maybe that's something the men of this world are missing, is that we should all be gearing up by putting skirts on instead of pants.
I'm starting to think maybe she got sweaty because they were ripping the apartment apart trying to search for the doll.
Okay.
I don't know. I'm trying to justify it somehow.
She got sweaty while they were. Oh, they were searching?
No. Remember her and Mike were like digging into everything trying to find the doll.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
maybe she wanted to change.
Maybe the high-waisted pants, restricted some ability.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying, agile.
Or she wanted to be able to feel anything touching her leg, where she may not have felt it.
Oh yeah, that
That's
wouldn't have been
true.
something I would be able to do.
Yeah, not with your lack of touch again. It would have been,
So I suppose I would have left the pants on.
someone just be down, just stabbing you in the calf. You never know. Never know.
But so the end fight sequence, amazing. And that for years I've been scared, not just of putting things on my closet door, but also that, out of any darkened hallway that someone is just going to launch themselves out at me.
That leap was amazing.
That leap was incredible. And how awesome is it for a movie this old to still have a genuine jump scare in it?
Oh, that's fantastic.
That still is effective, right?
It was like presidential fitness standing long jump. Like, just no problem. Like, yeah, you get the medal. We get it.
Like at the combine, he's changed his draft grade up by at least 2 rounds with that vertical.
Ooh.
No, he clearly put all his energy into it because he's like stumbling around dazedly in the
He's
kitchen,
using the
but-
knife to propel himself forward. Again, very creepy and awesome.
So you're not supposed to run with knives. You're also not supposed to leap with knives.
Oh.
It was effective in this case.
The thing Road didn't learn is that you're not supposed to get stabbed with knives either.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Downside.
Get stabbed in the front, you're not going down, apparently. It's only if you get stabbed once in the back.
Well, he
Small
stabbed him
knife.
again when he's on the ground, though, too.
No, he didn't.
Yeah, he stabbed him twice. Yeah.
You sure?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure he stabbed
When he was down,
him.
he was like,
He
"Woo."
fell down and he pulled the knife out.
No, I thought he stabbed him again.
Nate Freeze frames every scene where someone gets stabbed.
Yeah,
so
like,
he can
ooh, did they do it right? Did they do it right?
Yeah. He prints them out and hangs them up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's for research. For research. Yeah,
For research.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so as we said, Rote dies by getting a whole cabinet just toppled over on him.
Yeah.
I thought it would be the fridge, but no, it was the cabinet that she ended up doing that.
The fridge has the world's strongest plug cord.
Yeah, apparently.
So you can't literally unmovable.
As we've seen, okay, this movie taught me one thing. It's that anything can become a weapon. Because when they're threatened by Rote in the beginning, they grab a tripod, a chair, and a camera.
Oh my
Instantly.
God.
They're
Awesome.
like, we got this.
Awesome.
That tripod looked like it came out of the set from Gladiator, or I guess Ben-Hur maybe at this point in history. But my God,
Bulky.
who needs those kind of spikes on their tripod?
Well, and their reflexes, right? I mean, he just goes straight for that camera and starts swinging it around.
Oh yeah,
It's just
it
incredible.
literally went Ben-Hur.
It was awesome. It was fantastic.
Quick.
I was also starting to wonder a little bit afterwards, did the husband actually go to take photos? Because I remember that camera just swinging around.
I'm assuming he had more
He's got
than
more
one.
than one camera.
Yeah.
Also,
So
didn't he
we're-
have one in the fridge at one point?
Was there a camera in the fridge?
Yeah, I think he pulled a camera out of the fridge, which I guess is the photographer's.
It was a really, really
I don't
hot.
know.
It was a really hot and steamy photo shoot. You had to cool the camera down. This is the '60s. There's no, built-in thing.
Actually, just like screwing with his wife, putting things where they're not supposed to be.
I think the husband was having an affair. Can I say this?
Just like unrelated to the film.
Unrelated to anything that they were like, they were trying to make it sound like he was having an affair and he was maybe a murderer so that she would give up the
Well,
the
so
doll.
they can believe.
I think he was literally having an affair already.
It's quite possible.
I think it's 1,000%.
No,
possible.
don't come to the don't show up.
Yeah.
You mean the guy that just randomly meets this blind girl stumbling around in traffic a year ago, and then marries them in a short amount of time?
Yeah. And who the kind of person who's like, I'll take strange dolls from attractive looking strangers on airplanes.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah.
Oh, you don't want your other child to see it and get jealous? Checks out. Yeah, I'll take this for you,
That's it.
stranger.
Yeah.
You want
But I had to buy you dinner first before I gave it back. Then, there we go. And then he said,
His home is also a dark room, so you can't really have someone who's not blind hanging out there on a regular basis.
True.
He saved
You're
me in dark
you're just
room.
slowing me down with the blindness, which is why you got to get better at it. Like, that was his logic,
Which also
not
super awkward part in the movie. I'm pretty sure Gloria is in love with you. She's a child. Yeah, but that makes me the villain. I'm like, what?
She's like the good son. Another Macaulay. Okay, we'll go with Good Son and Home Alone. She's causing lots of problems.
Yeah.
I think you're onto something, though. I mean, because she was calling him to ask permission to walk 2 blocks and sit in a coffee shop below his work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he was like, I suppose you can.
I'm just waiting for you.
Ugh.
Yikes!
All right. Well, is there anything else y'all want to cover about this movie?
I have a few thousand things I'd like to cover.
Well, you said you had a rant. What was your rant you were going to talk about?
I don't even remember. It was
About the silk
Something
scarf.
about the
the silk scarf. Oh yeah, we didn't go to the silk scarf.
Yeah,
okay,
let's do that.
okay. So this was a silk scarf, right? That's what it was.
I think.
like.
Sure.
I at first I was like, is that looks like a weird proportional size for like an actual.
It was like a juggler's scarf.
It looked really wide, like it was like real wide. I wasn't sure why, but so Alan Arkin is fantastic in this movie. He's tormenting her, making her cry, flipping out. He's already killed a couple people in front of her. Mm-hmm. He's draping the scarf over her, and like it is the most ominous scarf draping in cinema history, right? I mean, is there any more ominous scarf draping you guys can think about?
Or any other scarf?
Yeah.
Was there a scarf in the room? I feel like there was, but maybe I was just thinking of the rose.
He had a dress. It wasn't a scarf.
It was a dress. Okay,
different.
That's the closest I can get to a creepy scarf.
But he's like draping it on her, and like, you know, she's heard a guy being murdered. She knows people are coming for her. Mm-hmm. There was a fire earlier. There was all kinds of stuff happening.
Yeah.
But a scarf touching her was like the final straw. Like it doesn't even make any sense. What did you guys think? Like she really freaked out about this scarf.
I think she didn't know what it was.
She didn't know what it was.
There's like gasoline happening, and she was like more afraid of the scarf.
Which this is where Josh's loss of touch would have been helpful because he's like,
Like,
whatever.
I would have looked stone cold. I would have been like,
yeah, wrote. I can be a crazy person too.
yeah. I mean, I think at that point it was just supposed to be the overall fear should get into her, so she wasn't. I mean, even when it was just his hand,
The
she
scarf
was
tape.
what
It
is
was
that?
like this is like 2 minutes. I mean, this is like 2 minutes of just like scarf play. And it was.
Well, she did say it was more to him than just the doll. So.
Yeah, he's like, oh yeah. Not only do I kill you, but I throw scarves on. It's kind of is that his thing? Is that maybe he's like a scarf dude, like a scarf fetish?
I think you're digging too deep into this.
I mean, he did have a lot of costumes, so it's very possible he did a Miss Doubtfire at some point.
He's got his knives and he's got his scarves. And
Yeah.
that's the only thing that matters to this guy, and his haircut. Other than that, that's all he has.
The Quentin Tarantino bowl cut, yeah, absolutely.
He had a pretty elaborate plan and a lot of just equipment.
Yeah.
All his wigs.
Yeah, I feel like he went over and above on his plan. I feel like
The plan was great though. It was elaborate and all the parts made sense.
But you notice Mike couldn't keep up, right? He had to keep his notebook with notes with like really terrible notes, like
phone booth.
Charlie Battalion.
Yeah, phone booth.
This movie doesn't work if a non-rotary phone is in existence, because then you just hit redial. Oh. There it is.
Oh, it's the same phone. Yeah, like
Also, didn't he say he was going to catch a flight? And she called him like 20 minutes later.
Oh, yeah, Marty,
you're
my friends.
already there? Can you come back?
Well, Lisa, everyone knows you didn't have to be at your gate until like 5 minutes before flight anyway, and security only takes like 10 minutes.
And you can walk.
Yeah,
on
but then
while
where is she
smoking.
calling?
Yeah, but if you don't have a doll,
supposed to be
if you don't have a
at
doll, it only takes like 3 minutes to go through security.
Well, true.
Yeah, a doll in an empty bag. I mean,
A regular headed doll would have been fine.
Yeah, they're like, oh, okay. There's no special, like scanning needed here.
I really do like how elaborate it is, but I also find it funny that Alan talks about how the other guys kind of came up with it, and it's such a naive plan, and yet he's the one doing the wardrobe changes. Don't act like you didn't enjoy this.
I'm humoring them. That's
Look,
it. Yeah.
let it not be said that Rode didn't go 110%.
Yeah, he gave
on
it all.
every enterprise, whether he
gave
thought it
it
was
all.
dumb or not. That's the guy you want on your team. You know, that's the guy who's like,
Yeah, clearly, because then he runs over with the car and stabs you in the back.
well, I mean,
you want him or Audrey Hepburn's character? Because I mean, how long did it take her to just be like, you know what? I don't care what my husband did. He might have cheated on me. He might have murdered someone, but don't you go to the police.
Yeah.
Don't you dare go to
Yeah.
the police. She was his ride or die.
yeah, that's.
Yeah.
I mean, the Stockholm syndrome does crazy things to you. I guess I don't know. But yeah,
I'm starting to think
so
Asbury Park.
do you want more cunning or do you want more loyalty? That's really the question, right?
Yeah.
That's what you're.
It's sad that she had to kill him because they could have made a really great duo.
Oh yeah,
She had the cunning. She replaced the flowers in the water with like the photo developing chemicals, which was awesome. But apparently, he could see fine right after. So what kind of chemicals were they exactly?
Smoke, go blind, chemicals, you're fine.
yeah.
Yeah. You think she would know what chemicals would make you blind
Neil Horoscope
more than the average
falls
person?
down a well, eye goes back. I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. And then she had one light on. I'm not sure why. Not sure why.
We think it was just for filming purposes.
Yeah, because you can't have a 25-minute end scene and nothing but pitch dark.
Like she's so scared she could
8 minutes.
Yeah, she's so scared she leaves like the photo development light on because she doesn't want her husband to hate her more than he already does.
Right.
Even though it might cause her own death, she's like, I can't do it. I apologize.
All right. Well, is there anything else you want to cover on this movie, or do we move into our final segments?
I have one more thing.
Go ahead.
The piano that happened in this, the discordant pianos that were going on. So I think it was Henry Mancini, the music director, had the pianos tuned like a half step off of each other. So you heard like the weird, kind of off key, creepy pianos happening at certain moments of the movie, and that was pretty awesome.
Yeah, the music was great.
Yeah, music was fantastic.
All right. Well, with that last piece said, let me ask you all, what would you have done differently?
Son of a bitch, you left the bodies and you only moved the headstones! You only moved the headstones! Why? Why?
Why indeed? So, okay.
It's jarring every time. That's why I like it.
So, I'm going to jump in first because I think this is the low-hanging fruit.
Okay.
Maybe just, if it were me, I wouldn't have accepted a doll from a stranger, and none of
Jesus,
this movie
Mitch.
happens.
Thank you.
Yeah,
But she's
this is the
attractive.
low-hanging-
But
this
she's
is the
attractive,
low-hanging
and my
fruit.
wife is blind. So I'm going to talk to every woman I can.
Yeah.
The TSA saw this movie, and that's why now at the airport you hear, if anyone has left anything unattended or tries to hand you something that's not yours, tell somebody.
Yeah.
I was always wondering where that specific phrase came from.
Now
They
you
should
know.
show this as a
This
PSA
movie.
on the
Yeah.
No.
TVs everywhere.
The whole film.
No.
You have to get to the airport 4 hours early.
Right.
2 so you can watch this movie, and then 2 so you can get through security.
Yeah.
Patricia, what would you have done differently?
Oh, well, you took mine, 1.
That's why I jumped in. That's the benefit of being the host.
Oh, man. I guess pretty fundamentally, I would not have lived in that basement apartment if I were blind. I mean, it just feels like you've got to go downstairs to get in there. Then there's more stairs. Then there's stairs up into the kitchen. And it just feels like every single thing about that apartment was tailor-made for this exact situation to occur.
She probably said that. And again, the husband's like,
Well, it's only 2 blocks from a studio,
I
so
don't
he's not
care.
moving.
I don't care.
2 blocks from a studio, and it's dark.
Yeah.
And I'm including like the roller windows with like the little old fashioned car roller thing where just like all of the stuff comes down and it's in pitch dark and there's no way for her to escape. I mean, just
Well,
what did they expect to happen?
At
Of
one
course
point,
this was gonna happen.
they blamed like the sleazebag landlord.
Oh, yeah.
Like, man, they're supposed to fix our refrigerator. And the other guy's like, yeah, he's supposed to fix my thing too. And he's like, oh, he doesn't come around very much because he's such a sleazebag.
Yeah.
We just send him money and that's it. So maybe you could blame the landlord on that specific point.
Well, I mean,
there was
she's
a-
blind. It's not like she needs a lot of sun coming in the windows
Yeah.
anyway.
And she said, we don't see him that often. I was like,
But there was an apartment
Nice.
for lease right above them. Like there was no reason for them to live at the basement.
Yeah.
That guy who made that comment too, he's like going skiing in his drop top convertible,
yeah, man.
and then he also growls.
Yeah, he
Just
did
make this
growl in
weird
response.
growl.
60s. That's all I got for that. I
And
don't
then
know.
is that the parent of the kid? Like,
No.
I think it was just like
Who's
a
that
friend.
The parent of the kid was just a deadbeat parent.
Well, there was the mom who was running off.
There's the grandma or whatever.
Yeah,
Something.
and then the dad was. I can't remember. Yeah.
It's complicated and sad.
Yeah. Okay, Lisa, what do you do differently?
Not take the doll at the airport, Mitch.
Okay.
I don't know. I think I started to wonder towards the end when she found the doll, why didn't she just give them the doll? Mm-hmm. My only suspicion.
That's what I was thinking too. Like,
My only
who
suspicion.
cares about this stupid doll for some kids?
I know.
Some other kid doesn't want to see that kid for some random lady. Who gives a shit?
Yeah. So Patricia brought up the point that maybe she still thinks that it is tied to her husband and she needs the doll as proof. But I don't know. At that point, your husband's a jerk. he's potentially cheating on you and has potentially murdered someone, just give them the doll. Like, who cares anymore?
See, not ride or die in this situation.
Yeah.
You on your own.
watch
You
out.
figure it out on your own.
Yeah. Okay, thanks, Sam. Josh, how about you?
I guess in today's day and age, I definitely would not take the doll, given the aforementioned.
But back
warnings
then,
at
you
the
were like, yeah,
airport.
it's fine.
I could see how I could get talked into like holding the doll for a period of time, but not for anywhere near as long as he had to. Also, might be a little confused as to why she didn't just get 2 dolls. There are 2 kids.
Yeah, there are a lot of holes in that story.
That too. Yeah.
I only like one of the kids.
Only
but the
like
kid I
one.
don't like, I don't want them to know I don't like them.
Right.
He also,
That is the whole strategy. I
I
don't
like
know
them
why.
just enough for them to not want. Yeah.
He also saw her being dragged away by some weird man in a trench coat and
Yeah.
didn't think anything of it. He's
Yeah,
like,
don't
oh,
call
whatever.
the police yet.
No.
I feel like I would have called the police a lot sooner. I also, as a person who's blind in an apartment in a city, would probably have a chain on the door so that I could open it and talk to someone through, and then I wouldn't let randos.
Well, Sam probably took out the chain because he didn't want to wait 30 minutes for his blind wife to figure out how to open the lock.
Probably.
Yeah, that's probably a convenience thing for him.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
Everything in this apartment is built for Sam's convenience, not for
The blind
not for
person.
hers.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, in that case, I'd grab the knife sooner.
Yeah.
Well, and Nate,
Yeah.
and too, with your point, Nate, I mean, there's always one favorite of parents, right?
Yes.
Parents have their favorite kid, and
And those kids know who they are.
yeah.
Of course. Yeah.
And so do the other kids.
Yeah.
So,
Exactly.
the other kids have a sneaking suspicion.
All right. So what I would have done the same in this movie is
Oh Lord.
smuggled the drugs from Canada to the United States. Last year I flew to Southeast Asia, and if you fly into certain countries, they literally give you a card with your passport that has like a skull and crossbones on it that says the penalty for drug smuggling is death on it. So I feel like they made the right choice in the locations that they were smuggling the drugs into, because the penalties aren't as bad here. So I agreed with that. The one thing I say I would do differently is, now that all of the bad people are dead who know about the drugs, and the husband doesn't know about the drugs, the cops don't know about the drugs, she knows about the drugs, she starts selling drugs now.
Who is she?
That is her new
Who
thing
is
now.
she going to sell these drugs to?
At blind school, she learns about economics.
school.
She learns about economics. Okay, then she starts.
I don't think that's
being,
what they teach him at blind school, Nate.
She starts being.
It's not like fucking Hogwarts.
A drug dealer.
It's not like blind kids get an owl in the mail and they go and learn all these wonderful superhuman
no one
abilities.
suspects the blind lady.
And
and
economics.
if you do get caught with the drugs, you're like, oh my god, I'm blind. Someone must have done this to me.
Oh, I thought this was
Perfect
flour.
alibi.
She could bake them into soap. Yeah.
Yeah. I bought really, really small. This is the 60s. They had really, really small like compartments of flour that they would buy, and then that's it. So I'd be a drug dealer if I was her.
All right. Well, so you would break bad is what you would do. Differently.
Yes, exactly. Then she makes enough money to leave her husband, buy a better place that's more suitable for her, and gets a better person.
Get some help from someone who isn't a jerk.
Yeah.
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 Just to break out of
isn't
this
stealing your
terrible
stuff,
situation.
Stealing your drug dolls.
She did want a dog, and he was like, dogs can't help you do shit.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Seeing eye dogs existed then. That already was happening. Like that, it's not like that shocking.
But they can't shop at the supermarket. So his point there was unimpeachable.
No.
Oh man.
So awards. Patricia, if you were going to give an award to someone in this movie,
I guess I'm struggling between worst husband award and subtlest drug smuggling outfit. I think I'm going to go with subtlest drug smuggling outfit.
yeah.
Just those spectacular red tights, boots, the bump it,
Overly
made up. I mean, it's just so
it's
fantastic.
the hiding in plain sight award.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Like
Okay.
the
Yeah.
hiding in plain sight award. I like that. I mean, she's not even hiding the doll, right? They sew it into a doll, and she has a bag.
Yeah,
And she just
She's like, frisk me. Go ahead.
Yeah.
I'm so flamboyant.
Yeah.
Throw him off the scent, maybe.
love it.
Nate, what award would you give?
Let's see. I have the most ominous silk draping award. Wrote. I have the Topsy-Turvy Motherfucker Award to wrote as well. The usage of like very, very specific 60s phrases in this. It isn't like all the time. They're not saying groovy and all this kind of crap all the time, but every so often he's like, oh, that's the trippiest thing. Like they like sprinkle in awesome 60s-ness.
Yeah.
I loved that. And then, of course, I put World's Champion Blind Woman Award, obviously. Goes to Suzy.
Obviously. Josh, how about you?
I think I would give the person who's most likely to know when something's being dusted nearby award.
Yeah.
What's the superhero name for that?
The coveted one.
What's the superhero name for that? Like Gold Dust or
Can't say it.
like what's her name? What's her name?
Dust Bunny.
The Dust Bunny. There we go. Yeah.
I wasn't sure, but you know it when you hear it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And her counterpart is the Dustbuster.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
But it is not that guy.
Yeah, it's not her current husband. She has to like trade up and find someone new to be the Dust.
He's her starter husband.
Yeah.
I'm going to give, so for Mike, this is going to be the nicest psychologically taunting criminal ever.
Wow, that's a mouthful.
Yeah, he's it's
gonna be a large trophy to fit that on like the plaque on the front. Wow.
It's just very small.
Well, she found one in her closet.
Yeah.
She just engraved that on there.
So he's just like super super nice to her at the end of it. Like, okay, well, thanks.
Yeah,
have a good life.
Sorry about all the trouble.
Sorry about all the trouble. Yeah.
We killed that guy for you.
Yeah, we took care of him. And have a great life.
Yeah.
All right. Lisa, award.
Yeah, so I have an award, but before that, I wanted to go back. This is going to seem totally random, but we didn't get to talk about it in the trivia section of the movie. So the composer, Henry Mancini, he also did Moon River for Breakfast at Tiffany's, and he did the Pink Panther theme. So he's just, I don't know, he's one of my favorite composers. So when I saw his name pop up in the credits, I was like, oh, that's cool. Because it's rare that I'll actually know the name of one.
Is he getting your award?
No, he's not getting my award. I just think he's cool.
Oh, okay.
So my award is Most in Need of a Helper Monkey. Because
there we go.
If you watch Monkey Shines, Ella's hella helpful. And if she just had someone like Ella
helpful.
Yeah, Ella helpful. If she just had someone like Ella, I think she could have handled it. I think she would have been all right.
And by handling it, she would have murdered all three of the
pretty sure you could have trained the monkey to lock the door.
Yeah.
No, this is great because she goes
hold the door.
She goes, all right, I hate this girl because she like is in love with my husband, and my husband probably treats her better than she treats me. So, but I can't have a dog, but a monkey. It's like hitting the sweet spot right in the middle. Okay,
a monkey can probably go to the grocery store too.
Will it grab the right things? But it'll grab things and put them in your cart.
The list to the store for you.
Oh my god.
See?
Yeah, I like it. I like
she
it.
Could have done it.
Well, there you go.
Wait until Dark 2, monkeying around.
Jesus. At least you didn't say monkey business. Okay, so we'll move into our final segment then.
Final cut.
All right, this is your rating out of 10, whatever you want the scale to be. Nate, let's go with you.
Okay.
Start there.
This movie's fantastic. One of the best, like, actual plots and, like, a lot of talking and a lot of details making things work, and then also the slip-ups, right, and the cat and mouse game. Ending's great. So I gave it 9 out of 10 mermaid knives.
Wow.
I really like this movie. This movie's fantastic.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Wait, was this your first time seeing this movie, or you'd seen it already?
The first time I saw it was maybe like 2 years ago.
Okay.
So yeah, it took me a long time, which is shocking.
Yeah.
Because I usually like old 60s movies. And I'd seen everything else from Hepburn but this one. And yes, I love it. I thought it was great.
Okay. Josh, how about you?
I think I'd give it 8.5 out of 10 dust bunnies.
Nice. Okay. Lisa.
Well, what'd you like about it, Josh?
Oh, well.
Why 8 out of 8.5?
The dusting
that's
part,
a good
obviously.
score.
The dusting part.
I mean, just her ability to know when so many subtle things are going on, but then never be able to find that doll.
Is that what gave you the half?
That was the negative.
That was the negative
1.5 points.
Yeah.
Fair. Lisa, what was your score?
I'll probably give it 7 out of 10 dark room lights.
Okay.
Yeah, so it was good. I really did like it. I'm surprised Audrey Hepburn was in a role like this because, you know, she hadn't done something like this before. She did a great job.
Yeah.
There were a few things that probably could have ratcheted up the suspense just a little bit, but 1967, you know, they couldn't go pitch black and use nighttime cameras, which would have helped and stuff like that. So, but for the time period that it was really well done. It was good.
The scenes where it was pitch black and you just hear like the cane tapping, you know, and then like she flicks on like the, you know, the matches, right? And then that's the only thing you see, and then it goes dark. I mean, that was awesome. That was really cool.
No, it was awesome. The issue, and we mentioned it, was leaving the darkroom light on, but it's like, well, we need some sort of light. If they had what they had today, they probably could have, you know, been to where they were pretty much in total darkness. Like
a little bit.
But
and I'm surprised no one has really played with that. It took so long to make another movie that was kind of like this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm also curious how they did it in the play, because did they just shut the lights off in the
theater? Probably just like a single
or they dimmed it like real low.
To the legal limit of darkness.
To the legal limit of darkness. Like that's the thing. You can only be what level of dark? Like what is the statute on the books here? Like what is?
It's also to the physical limit of darkness.
Yeah. I was gonna say, this is like a county statute. Are we talking like city ordinance? Like what level of darkness are we talking here?
Patricia, what would you give this as the champion for this movie?
I mean, I love this movie. It has everything. It has Audrey Hepburn. It has fantastic costume changes. It has a weird little girl.
Terrible husband.
Not creepy,
terrible
just
layouts.
Weird.
Yeah.
I'd give it 9 out of 10 rocking chairs. After the rocking chair, she was just overcome with emotion when Mike's walking in and she can't think of anything else, so she just sits down and rocks aggressively.
Yeah.
Oh, that's solid. So I guess I'm probably the lowest score of the group, but not by much. I gave it 7 out of 10 broken light bulbs. I enjoyed the movie. It's, 7's good, particularly because I usually don't give anything that high. Usually, I think I gotta give it an 8.
No, they both gave it.
Then Lisa and I
love how Mitch never listens to Lisa's. He's literally channeling the husband in this movie right now. Mitch is so committed to this podcast.
I believe
he's like, I will do exactly what this husband's doing.
Yeah. So I went 7. Mainly because, again, had I seen this movie earlier, I feel like I would have given it more. But I've seen Don't Breathe, which improves upon this already awesome concept.
I like Don't Breathe, but a little bit different movies here.
It is a different movie, but I mean, it's that same sort of tenseness that's in, that they're going for.
Yeah.
In both movies, it just expands on it. So
I would say the acting is much better in this movie than it is in Don't Breathe.
I'd agree with you.
Yeah, for sure. That's probably for me. It pushes it over there.
I mean, this movie's solid. It's just from a horror movie perspective, it's not as scary up until
toward the end.
Until the end,
yeah. Scary, yeah.
Whereas, like movies like Don't Breathe, it's a little more throughout. So that's the only really negatives I would say about it. But acting wise, the set, the story, even with the plot holes we kind of talked about, it's not like nothing egregious, right? This guy's just kind of a fucking idiot. that's really it. Not that hard to believe that a husband can be an idiot. Am I right, Lisa?
The best part is that Audrey Hepburn is the smartest person in this movie. Right? Yeah. I mean, that's the cool part. I like that a lot.
That's right. All right. Well, that'll wrap it up for this week's episode. Josh, Patricia, thank y'all for joining us.
Yes, thank you for having us back.
Awesome. Leave the light on.
We'll leave the light on for you.
At least the fridge light.
Yeah. Probably not, because that takes a lot of energy, and it's someone's got to pay for that bill. He's probably mad about that. We'll get into another episode. Nate, tell them where they can find us and complain about their electricity bill.
Sure. Yeah, you can find us on our website, TexasPodcastMassacre.com. You can check us out on the following podcast platforms. So we're now on Spotify. You can check us out on Apple Podcasts, Google Play, and TuneIn Radio.
And Stitcher. And the rest. Yeah, we're pretty much everywhere at this point.
Yep.
So. All right. Well, from all of us here, thank you so much for listening. And just keep telling yourself it's only a movie. Good night.